The Rogers Company recently celebrated 65 years of business. We spoke to Jeffrey Blackwell, who's president of the Rogers Company, about how the business has changed in that time and how the Rogers Company has changed with it.
Well, trade shows have changed tremendously, and exhibitors have, and what they do with their booths have changed tremendously. Like everything else, technology has really transformed the show floor. Booth content and the materials that we use to build booths now are radically different than what they used to be in the past. I mean, people still use a certain amount of wood and laminate in some of their exhibits, but there's a much, much greater emphasis now on the use of fabrics, the use of intelligent lighting, low voltage LEDs and programmable lighting. Much greater emphasis, again, from a technological standpoint, on AV, audiovisual, the use of touch screens, large flat screens, and even the LED video tiles and projectors that make for really grand visual impression. So the emphasis now is certainly on much lighter weight materials, faster setup time, much greater reliance on aluminum as an architectural structure. One of the other areas that has changed dramatically is that as long ago as 30 years ago, there was no such thing as a portable exhibit or a tabletop exhibit like a pop-up. Basically 10-foot exhibits back then were still very custom exhibits that typically were part of a larger exhibit that they just pulled a component or components out of to create the 10-foot. But you didn't have a portable that you could just throw in the back of your car or ship UPS and get it to the show. Virtually everything was still very, very custom. I think the other thing that's really impacted the trade show floor is the technology that has come to bear on gathering leads and qualifying leads, and then post-show following up on leads. There's so much more emphasis today on the return on investment for trade shows. And I think finally, within the show halls themselves, there's more competition today. There's a lot more convention centers today. 30 years ago, Orlando was not a convention center, and it certainly wasn't a destination for trade shows. Today, venues like Atlanta, Orlando, Las Vegas, of course, where you have right-to-work states, have loosened the rules and allowed exhibitors to do more on the show floor. There have been many, many changes over the last 65 years. Face-to-face marketing is still face-to-face marketing, but given the cost today and given the challenge of justifying going to the show, we've changed, and frankly speaking, for the future, we have to continue to change. We have to continue to refine what we're doing and continue to bring costs down and ultimately continue to work with our clients on helping them validate and ultimately determine their trade show return on investment.
That was Jeffrey Blackwell from the Rogers Company. You can learn more about Rogers at therogersco.com. I'm James Krause for Trade Show Feed.